Good evening, America. Those of you watching, hopefully there will be some considerable viewers to this very, very difficult and important subject matter that I want to call your attention to. Once again, the alarms are ringing, the bells have gone off. Try to pay attention very carefully. Those of you who understand or don't understand, there's a thing called the posse comitatus. It is no longer constitutional law. It does not exist any longer. And the reason that this is relevant and important is because the posse comitatus was a law that was enacted to forbid the occupation of American cities by the military under any circumstances, so we could prevent any kind of undue dictatorial martial law of citizenry. And the fact that it has been eliminated and no longer is a viable protection under the law, it should be a concern for you. In addition to that, we have got to wake up to the realization that this is a plan and that it's underway and that it's real. The harassing of citizen groups, the engaging in arbitrary detention and release, targeting key individuals, controlling the press, dissent equals treason, invoking a terrifying internal and external threat, creating a gulag, concentration camps, develop a thug caste sentence, set up an internal surveillance system are all part and parcel of very specific things that are done and have been done in our country, and they should be alarming because they are for a very specific purpose only, and one only purpose, and that is to eventually arrange the situation and the law so that they can effectively implement martial law and eliminate our freedoms. The FEMA recently has called the Founding Fathers terrorists. Yeah. Why? Because Jefferson advocates revolution and forceful overthrow of a tyrannical government system such as we have today, and they fear citizens and students will shortly begin to understand Jefferson's point and put his very specific suggestions into action. So they are trying to beat the punch, beat it to the punch before it becomes, a possibility. They are beginning to discredit our founding fathers. This is urgent. Should be big bells going off in your head. Operation Cable Splicer and Garden Plot are two subprograms implemented by RX-84, a program initiated that was created in an undisclosed number of concentration camps throughout. You can look this stuff up, people. Concentration camps throughout the United States for the internment of dissidents and other potentially harmful persons to the government objective. Cable Splicer specifically allows local government agencies to be confiscated and placed directly under FEMA. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management and Protection Agency, is little more than the dictatorial arm of a complete fascist regime. It will function in that capacity. It's already absolutely clear that the legislative agenda has already positioned it as such. You can just look at all the executive orders that are specifically and directly connected to this agency alone that have been established and now are law, effectively giving over complete and utter control to this one agency under extreme circumstances. And financial crisis, for example, is one such case that is a lawful reason to enact these things. Garden Plot is a specific program that deals with the potential mass exodus during a crisis by citizens crossing the border to escape, and would round them up and detain them to prevent escape. And then I have a whole host of executive orders I was going to read you, but I'm going to skip it and move right on to something else, and you can look those up. I want to remind people, I'm trying to be rational and calm here, but this is an urgent situation, and almost identical tactics in every respect to implement the Third Reich and the Nazi regime. Check it out, people. Identical. This is going on now. It's been happening, and it is alarming. Are you interested in being locked up? Are you forced into a labor camp? Do you want this to happen, people? I think you do. People, wake up. There's an agenda. There's a plan. It doesn't include you, unfortunately. Our leaders and your leaders are criminals doing all of this to your country. Everything. The economy, the terror threats that do not exist. All the bullshit is artificial, people. Your father, Thomas Jefferson, told us what to do in this situation. What are we waiting for? Revolution now, before it is too late. To delay gives them more time to prepare against us and stop us from taking it back. People, listen carefully. It is intrinsically essential to appeal to the military leadership if we are to be successful. Understand that the military leadership are citizens too and have an interest in protecting our Constitution and must assist us in this effort. And they are your sons, your daughters, your cousins, your relatives. So it is your responsibility to talk to the military personnel that can potentially be assist in this manner, because let me tell you, if we cannot persuade even a portion of the military to support this action, we are doomed to our fate. No revolution can be successful without the support of the military. That support does not need to be complete. Even a small portion of it is capable of sustaining and erecting a viable, significant threat to the current authority. Any revolution with broad-based popular support of the public has a potential to undermine and frustrate the dictatorial authority of collectively agreeing to non-compliance, civil disobedience, as it were, advocated by such radical movements as the civil rights and the anti-war movements. Civil disobedience and nonviolent resistance were effective methods in those movements, but understand that this situation is fundamentally different on several levels, and to be sure presents special problems for a radical and forceful overthrow of the government. Because they are doing this and have created the crisis on purpose, they obviously took into consideration this very possibility for obvious reasons, but not least of which being we are a nation born of revolution, and it is supposed to be understood by our people as a normal and just course of action, philosophically consistent with our value system, political principles, rights, and freedoms. By this rationale, it would be unreasonable if we did not consider revolution as a solution. We cannot praise our founding fathers for the courage and determination they displayed to secure and establish our freedoms and supposed liberty through revolution, claim to venerate their efforts and appreciate their struggle for the benefit it provided us, and then refuse to honor the sacrifice and struggle yourselves by cowering in the face of difficulty. What cowards you are. You see what's happening. Still you pussyfoot around, afraid to do anything. You're liars. All of you are liars. You do not believe in your rights. You do not believe that you do not deserve to be free. Only courageous people will be free. Do you think our revolutionary fathers waited for the British troops to arrive before they attacked? Hell no. Sentient minds are capable of reading the writing on the wall, and the courage to fight for your rights will earn you a respectable outcome no matter what it may be. I'd rather die with courage than live as a coward. I spit at weakness. This is a nation of weaklings, fat, lazy, with no concept of what the privilege they have to live here. In fact, the first place, take it for granted the disrespect our basic foundations, clueless to the struggle and sacrifice and unbelievable courage that was necessary to create this nation. It is just as well, because none of you have the courage or strength today, and that is why you're going to lose all of it. Blind, ignorant, weak fools. This is not a joke. This is not. This is the time to act now, people. Now you have to act. Revolution.